Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. A large earthquake, magnitude 7.0, struck a remote mountainous part of China's southwestern province of Sichuan, killing at least 19 people, including 8 tourists. The quake hit about 120 miles northwest of the city of Guangyan late Tuesday. The Sichuan government said rescuers were gradually evacuating tourists and residents who had been cut off by landslides. The Sichuan government also added that 45,000 tourists had been evacuated from the quake zone, with just 1,000 more waiting to leave. What 46,000 tourists are doing in southwestern China is a little bit difficult to understand. Meanwhile, Munich Re reported that profits have plummeted in the second quarter of 2017, but the world's biggest reinsurer said it was still well on track to reach its 2017 profit guidance of between 2 billion to 2.4 billion euros. Much lower investment returns were a big factor in the company's lower profits. Its investment result in the second quarter was about 1.9 billion, an overall return of 3.2%, compared with 2.75 billion for the period earlier 1 year ago. Profits also fell in the reinsurance segment, which accounted for profits of 629 million in the quarter, compared with 991 million a year earlier. Aon Benfield is estimating that forecasted insured losses from a brace of recent storm outbreaks in Turkey could in fact reach $441 million. The firm had previously put out a $200 to $350 million amount for combined losses based on local media reports, but earlier this week, Aon Benfield said the damaging storm on July 27th alone could produce claims as high as $341 million. The storm left the capital Istanbul underwater, while hail damaged at least one jet aircraft at the Istanbul airport. It followed an earlier storm a week earlier that had led to flash floods in Istanbul that could produce about $100 million of insured losses. A stronger tropical storm, Franklin, edged closer to its second landfall in Mexico this morning. This time it could come ashore as a hurricane. It has already crossed the Cancun Peninsula. The National Hurricane Center is forecasting Franklin to become the Atlantic's first hurricane of 2017 before it makes landfall late tonight. As of 7 a.m. this morning, Franklin is located about 155 miles northeast of Coatzacoalcos, Mexico, and is moving west at about 13 miles an hour. It has sustained winds of 70 miles an hour now. Hurricane force winds trigger at 74. Meanwhile, the storm is a massive rainmaker, bringing up to as much as 15 inches of rain to localities when it passes over it. The Norwegian Refugee Council, which is on the ground in Sanya, Yemen, is saying that at least 10,000 people have died in Yemen as a result of the Saudi-led coalition's restriction on airspace and the closure of the Sanya airport a year ago. According to the Norwegian Refugee Council, denial of access to travel has condemned thousands of Yemenis with survivable illnesses to death. At least 10,000 people have died, according to the organization, as a result of being unable to leave the country for life-saving medical treatment. Former Cooper Gay CEO Toby Esser has struck a deal to acquire independent London broker AFL. This is according to the Insurance Insider. AFL is a small, staff-owned Lloyd's and retail broker with about $6.5 million US of revenues. The firm will be acquired by Esser's comeback vehicle, Next Generation. AFL has a presence in areas including financial institutions, casualties, and binders. The acquisition is being personally financed by Esser. In a region better known for its ice and snow, it's a fire that now has scientists struggling to learn more. Since the end of last month, a stretch of land in western Greenland has been alight with a sizable wildfire, according to NASA. The fire is burning about 90 miles northeast of Sichuan, a town of about 5,500 people on Greenland's west coast. The largest of the fire, there's apparently several of them, is about 3,000 acres in size. According to a scientist, these fires appear to be peatland fires, as there are low grass, some shrub, and lots of rocks on the western edge of Greenland's ice sheet. As the New York Times has pointed out, peat is especially vulnerable to the effects of climate change, drying out as temperatures rise, and especially dangerous for exacerbating climate change if it burns. Meanwhile, in the United States, the stock market is jittery, as it seems as if the United States and North Korea are exchanging nuclear threats. North Korea has said that they would be willing to attack Guam, the United States' possession with nuclear weapons. President Trump, in a statement yesterday, seemed to imply that the United States would use nuclear weapons against North Korea. So we'll see what happens. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.